Good evening, everybody. Members of the audience, there's copies of the agenda that we'll be referencing to on the back tables if you guys would like to get those and follow along. This meeting of the Kern County Planning Commission is called to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Ashley, Commissioner Brooks,
Here.
Commissioner Dunbar,
Here.
Commissioner Oliver,
Here.
Commissioner Skidmore, Mr. Van Wyk,
Here.
Mr. Murphy,
Here.
Ms. Hoover.
Here.
Okay, moving on to commissioner member announcements and reports. Would any commissioner or staff member like to make an announcement or report, gentlemen? Okay, moving on. You've received copies of the minutes from our last meeting. Are there any corrections, and if there are no corrections, I will entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes May 28th.
I'll second.
Okay, let's vote. By verbal? Aye.
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 Okay, items withdrawn or requests for continuance. Mr. Murphy, will you review the items which have been withdrawn and the request for continuance, please, sir?
I will. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. So we have one case this evening that we are recommending a continuance to. That is CUP number 21, map 197, CUP number 46, map 198. The applicant is Cal Portland Company, and the staff recommendation is that this project be continued to your July 23rd, 2026 hearing. That completes the items for the staff is recommending continuance of.
Okay, perfect. Okay, moving on.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, we do need a vote on
vote?
that item. Yes, please.
If we could entertain a motion regarding items number, was that 7? The items?
I'll make a motion to continue, or is it withdrawn, or is it continue? Continue item number 7. I'll make a motion to continue item number 7.
I'll second that.
Okay, vote please.
Three ayes, 2 absent, motion carries.
Okay, perfect. Moving on, Mr. Murphy, will you review the consent agenda, please?
I will. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We do have 5 cases on consent this evening, so it'll be a little bit longer. So these are items scheduled before your commission which are being recommended for approval by staff. The applicant has been informed of any special conditions and has no objection. The hearing on these items may be expedited if no member of the commission or audience wishes to comment or ask any questions on the case. The first case that is on the consent calendar is case number 2, Zone Change 13, map 16526. Our applicant is the Redford Clag Living Trust by LAV Consulting and Engineering. This project is located on the south end of Old Town Road in the Tehachapi area. The action before you is a change in zone classification from E 2 1/2 RS to A, or a more restricted district, on approximately 55 acres. The staff recommendation is to advise your commission to recommend the Board of Supervisors to approve the zone change as requested, enact ordinance, and adopt the suggested findings as set forth in the attached draft resolution. The next item on consent is case number 3. This is CUP 64, map 102. Our applicant is Ruben Ascano. This project is located at 6409 Norris Road in the Bakersfield area. The action before you is a conditional use permit that would allow a landscaping contracting business on an approximately 3.57 acre parcel on property that is zoned A1. I would note that staff does have one recommendation to change in terms of the conditions. So if I could get Ms. Barker to put on the overhead the proposed change. Staff is still recommending approval of this request. However, we would like to note a potential change for condition 6A2. So staff had originally indicated that this applicant would be required to put type A improvements over in front of his house. There's not type A improvements on the adjacent parcels, so staff has a recommendation change to the language. If the clerk could put the overhead on. Well, I'll tell you what, I will read the condition change, and then if we can get the overhead to come through. So again, the condition as being proposed would be revised. 6A2 would then read, under encroachment permit issued by the Kern County Public Works Department, the applicant shall construct an asphalt concrete drive approach along Norris Road frontage or as required by the Kern County Public Works Department. Again, the previous language indicated that they had to do type A improvements, which are curb, gutter, sidewalk. Upon further review, it was decided that that was not necessary. Staff does recommend this project remain on consent, and the revised recommendation before you would be to approve conditional use permit in accordance with the recommended revised condition to 6A2 as read into the record, and adopt the suggested findings as set forth in the attached draft resolution. Okay, moving on, the next case on consent is case number 4. This is CUP 67, map 100. Our applicant is Kevin Lawless. This project is located approximately 1/3 mile north of Hageman Road, west of Bustle Road in the Bakersfield area. The request before you is a conditional use permit to allow a manufactured home exceeding the maximum 30-year age limit on an approximately 22,000 square foot parcel that is zoned PL RS MH. The staff recommendation is to approve the conditional use permit in accordance with the recommended conditions and adopt the suggested findings as set forth in the attached draft resolution. The next item on consent this evening is case number 5. This is tentative tract 7504, zone variance 95, map 101. Our applicant is Danny Schaefer by McIntosh and Associates. The project before you is located on the southeast corner of Brimhall Road and Weegis Avenue in the western Rosedale area. The actions are vesting tentative tract map 7504 that proposes the merger and re-subdivision of parcel 1 of parcel map 2333 and the north half of the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter of section 33, township 29 south, range 26 east, accepting the easterly 132 feet. What that means is that ultimately the project would be subdivided into 27 residential lots ranging in size from 1 acre to 1.11 acres. The project would include a 31,104 square foot sump lot. The project includes limited design variations to the land division ordinance. It would authorize blocks less than 2 tiers of lots wide. It would authorize double frontage lots and key reverse corner lots. The project also includes zone variance to authorize a minimum lot size of 31,104 square feet for the sump, where a 1 acre size is required on property that is zoned E1 RS. The staff recommendation is to approve vesting tentative tract map 7504 with the associated limited design variations, authorize blocks less than 2 tiers of lots wide, double frontage lots and key reverse corner lots, approve the zone variance to authorize the minimum lot size of 31,104 square feet where 1 acre is required, all subject to the recommended conditions of approval, and adopt the suggested findings as set forth in the draft resolution. And then finally, our last case on consent is on the consent calendar is case number 6. This is CUP 68, map 100. Our applicant is Maria Lopez. This project's located on the northwest corner of Hageman Road and Willard Street in the Bakersfield area. This request is a conditional use permit that would allow a mobile home exceeding the maximum 30-year age limit on a 0.55 acre parcel that is zoned PL RS MH. The staff recommendation is to approve the conditional use permit in accordance with the recommended conditions and adopt the suggested findings as set forth in the attached draft resolution. That completes the reading of the consent calendar this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Moving on, is there any member of the audience who would like to speak on any of these particular items as read? If you do, they will be removed from the consent agenda and heard in their regular order. Sir?
I don't know how I'm speaking about, but
You need to come down, sir, and state your name and
my name is Ezekiel Eicher. I didn't necessarily have statements to make concerning one of these items, but I did have questions to ask.
on which
Is this
items?
an appropriate forum for questions?
Which item, sir?
I think it was number 5 with the tentative tract 7504.
Okay.
I don't
Go-
know if
go
we have
ahead.
any representatives from McIntosh present. If we don't, then it
I
might
don't
be a waste of
believe
time.
anybody's here. We do. Do we? Okay,
There's a representative from McIntosh that is in the audience this evening.
okay.
Is
Well,
this
go
an
ahead.
appropriate
We'll-
forum for
we'll-
questions?
We'll give you 2 minutes real quick.
Yeah,
No?
go ahead, go ask your
Go
question.
ahead.
Okay.
What you got?
I apologize. I had them written on paper and that was misplaced.
Just try to speak into the mic so we can all hear you.
Okay, I will. Would this project, as proposed, have any impact to the utilities for homeowners in the area, particularly with water? If public water is being brought into the area, would we have an opportunity or requirement to connect to that?
Sorry, I don't have it in front of me. I'm assuming, do we know what the water, are they, I would
Vaughn.
imagine they're connecting, we have a will serve letter?
Yeah, from Vaughn Water.
Okay. So I'm assuming, are you not on Juan Water?
Correct, I'm on a well.
Okay. So any new development proposed, we generally have a requirement that connect to public water. This project would be required to do that. There's no requirement that says you have to or anything along those lines. If that is something that you are interested in, then that is always something you could reach out to Vaughn Water directly to see if they can serve you as well. Usually when a project is approved and utilities are brought in, lines are extended, things along those lines when it comes to water or sewer or things in that nature. And so, again, it's not our practice that requires adjacent neighbors to connect. But sure, if a new line is now created in front of your property or in your property, and that is something you are interested in, that is something that you can reach out to Vaughn Water and discuss with as well.
Okay. Is there a rough proposed schedule for this development?
That would be something that you would have to talk to the applicant because any construction schedule is on their timeline. And then just so you know, the applicant for McIntosh is right in the back. She's got her hand up.
Oh.
But that would be something that you could ask them directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I found a document that had mentioned paving Wegas Avenue was part of the plan. So if, could we confirm that? Yes? Okay.
She's giving us a thumbs up, so I think that's a good thing.
Yes. Would the plan involve sidewalk or lights for Wegas? I asked because it looks like lights were in the plan for Brim Hall. Yes? Curb and gutter? Yes. Let the record show she answered curb and gutter. Will there be, and I apologize, this question is mostly because the map provided in the mail was a little small, but will we be retaining an easement at the canal, the Goose Lake Slough?
The project is, when you say we, they have their own property. So I don't understand the question in terms of what you mean by that aspect.
Will the project leave an easement with the slough?
Mr. Chairman, these are a lot of questions,
Yeah,
and staff clearly can answer these questions, but we have to kind of look at the
We have
information
to, we
in the
have to,
document.
we have to
and things along
continue
those
moving
lines.
on, but
Okay.
let's go ahead and, I would suggest talking with the young lady back there, and she can
Okay.
answer all these questions for you. Because these are site-specific.
Yes,
Okay, thank you, sir.
thank you.
All right, moving on. Is there any member of the commission that would wish to remove any of these items from the consent agenda to be heard in regular order? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion from the commission on items 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
I'll make that motion to approve items 2 through 6.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
And
On-screen vote, please.
Three ayes, two absent, motion carries.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone who is here for items 2 through 6, Your application has been approved by the commission here, and you may leave if you would like.
Mr. Chairman.
But there is, I'd like to hear for the appeal process from Mr. Murphy, please.
So for projects where the planning commission action is final, those actions are subject to an appeal to the Board of Supervisors by any interested person, and no development proposed by any application may be authorized until after the final date of appeal. That appeal can be filed with the Kern County Planning and Natural Resources Department, located at 2700 M Street, Suite 100 in Bakersfield, with a filing fee of $562 on forms available at the department and on our website. For cases 3, 4, and 6, that filing must be made within 14 days of and including the date of this hearing. For tract maps, which include case 5 this evening, that appeal must be filed within 10 days from the date of decision of the Planning Commission. If no appeal is received, the action of your commission is final.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. All right, moving on to public presentation. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons desiring to address the commission here on any matter not on tonight's agenda and over which the commission has jurisdiction. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. Please state your name for the record before making your presentation. Anybody? Go ahead, sir. Okay. Well, you have 2 minutes.
My name is Josh Vasquez, and I do apologize. This is going back to item number 3, CA3. It was just the address was 9409. We have it as 6409. I'm not sure if that bears any.
Generally, it is not, but I appreciate you clarifying the record so we know exactly from the address which one's correct.
All right,
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Okay, moving on. First item we're going to hear tonight, I believe, is item number 1 on the agenda. Is the applicant and/or their representative present? Oh, there you are, okay. Is there anybody in the audience other than the applicant who wishes to speak either for or against item number 1? Okay, seeing none. Staff, would you please give a presentation for this application?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to introduce Ms. April Wentworth. April is the planner who has been processing this project. I believe this might be the first time she's addressed your commission, but she will be making the presentation this evening.
Well, welcome aboard, April.
Thank you.
Look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. The proposal before you tonight is the Lynn Trucking, Inc. project by KSI Engineering. The request before you is a conditional use permit and a zone variance to allow development of a travel center on 10 parcels of record totaling 16.28 acres, located on the northwest side of Interstate 5 and Stockdale Highway interchange in the Bakersfield area. The project site is currently vacant and is designated 6.3 highway commercial by the Kern County General Plan and has a zoning classification of CHPD, Commercial Highway Precise Development Combining. Surrounding properties have a land use designation of 6.3 highway commercial with zoning classifications that include commercial, agricultural, and industrial uses. The area is primarily characterized by agricultural operations with Interstate 5 abutting the northeastern boundary of the project site. Southeast of the Interstate 5 interchange, existing development includes similar commercial uses such as a small hotel and gas stations. The requested conditional use permit proposes a travel center with a truck repair facility. Additionally, the request includes a zone variance for a 75-foot tall pole sign with a 560 square foot sign face area, where a 35-foot height and 240 square foot sign face area are otherwise permitted. The proposed travel center would include a total building coverage of 38,199 square feet, to include a 60-room hotel, a convenience store with a drive-through restaurant, and a fueling station with 7 diesel truck pumps and 16 standard vehicle pumps. Additional features include 2 multi-tenant fast food and retail buildings, a truck repair facility, a 2-tunnel manual truck wash, a propane tank for RV use, underground gasoline storage, above-ground diesel storage, 11 truck parking spaces, and 223 standard vehicle parking spaces, including 23 EV charging stations. An initial study was prepared by the Kern County Planning and Natural Resources Department as the lead agency. The initial study concluded that the project impacts would be less than significant with implementation of mitigation measures. The initial study and notice of intent to adopt a mitigated negative declaration were circulated for public review for 30 days pursuant to CEQA Guidelines Section 15105B. In compliance with Assembly Bill 52, a 30-day tribal consultation period was initiated. No requests for consultation or comments were received from the notified tribes. Comments received during the notification period included standard agency comments and comments from the Sierra Club, expressing concerns about cumulative impacts relating to air quality, greenhouse gas emissions, and continued development of fueling and industrial facilities in the region. The ISM&D concluded that the project's incremental contribution would not be cumulatively considerable because the project would be required to comply with all applicable federal, state, regional, and local regulations, including all mitigation measures identified in the ISM&D, which would reduce the project's impact to less than significant level. The proposed use is consistent with site zoning and the map code designation of the Kern County General Plan. The ISM&D determined that with implementation of the proposed mitigation measures, the project is consistent with state and regional air quality and greenhouse gas plans, which are inherently cumulative in nature. Additionally, future development projects within Kern County are subject to independent environmental reviews and would be required to implement project-specific conditions of approval and/or mitigation measures where necessary and feasible. 28 of the 46 mitigation measures address air quality, greenhouse gas emissions, and biological resources, reducing impacts to a less than significant level. The project must also comply with California Building Energy Efficiency Standards. The proponent has committed to up to 7,200 square feet of rooftop and canopy solar and 800 square feet of ground-mounted solar to support project operations. The project originally identified 18 EV chargers. Following discussions with the Sierra Club and the applicant, Mitigation Measure 10 has been revised to require a minimum of 23 EV chargers, 20 of which would be a mix of level 2 and level 3 chargers, and 3 of which would be level 1 chargers. The level indicates the speed at which they charge the vehicles, with level 1 being the longest duration for charging and level 3 being the shortest duration. The San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District submitted comments regarding potential construction and operation-related air quality impacts. The ISM&D identifies 7 mitigation measures addressing air quality. The applicant must comply with all requirements of the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District. These requirements include, but are not limited to, watering active construction areas, stabilizing disturbed soils, covering hauling trucks, and limiting vehicle speeds on unpaved surfaces. The applicant must also prepare a fugitive dust management plan, use Tier 4 diesel construction equipment where available, limit idling times for construction vehicles, and encourage heavy-duty trucks to limit idling times during operations, using signage and provision of electrical outlets for overnight use by refrigerated trucks. The project would also be required to conduct valley fever training for construction workers and contribute to the Kern County Environmental Health Valley Fever Education Program. If restaurants are using under-fired char broilers, the applicant shall install an effective particulate matter emission control system where technologically feasible. In regard to the proposed zone variance, staff has reviewed similar approved cases along Interstate 5. There are several locations along the corridor where signs exceeding the 35-foot height and 240 square foot sign face standard have been approved. The proposed sign would advertise multiple businesses and provide clear visibility for northbound travelers, allowing them to identify services and exit safely and in a timely manner. Should the project be approved, the project proponent will be required to comply with all Kern County development standards, adopted mitigation measures, and conditions of approval. Staff believes the project is appropriately located and is compatible with the surrounding area and that all required findings can be made, as the proposal will not be detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of the public, nor to property or residents in the surrounding area. Staff recommends that your commission adopt the mitigated negative declaration, adopt the mitigation monitoring and reporting program, approve the conditional use permit, subject to recommended conditions of approval, approve the zone variance, subject to recommended conditions of approval, and adopt the suggested findings outlined in the draft resolutions. This concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you, April. That was very well done, by the way. All right, moving on real quick. Does the applicant have an opening statement or any comments at this time? Okay. Then I invite those who are opposed to this request to come forward and be heard. Please state your name for the record if there's anybody that opposes. Seeing none, moving forward, I invite those in support of the request to come forward and be heard and state your name for the record. Seeing none there as well, we'll just move on. Do you have anything you want to say right now as the applicant?
I can say a few things.
Last chance.
Yeah, I'll follow up. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Matthew Lanzer, KSI Engineering. I am the substitute tonight, not the project engineer, just the surveyor. So I'm normally on consent when they send me, but here we go. So I was actually pretty excited about this project as someone that frequents Paso Robles and driving back and forth. Not a lot of places to eat from the 5 to Lost Hills. So 3 more places to eat or be able to stop is nice, especially for the folks at the CHP right next door. Additionally, the hotel space can further function for the raceway to the south. So a lot of folks are traveling to that raceway for special events, and we have a hotel right next to it. I want to say it's around 6 miles away, down the 5. As a person that owns an EV, I can tell you that charging at charging stations is a nightmare. And when I read through this staff report, the 20 level 2 and level 3 chargers was exciting. I don't know if anyone's ever taken a Tesla through Mojave or to Bishop, but you always end up at a charging station that's in the back of a restaurant parking lot with no facilities, and you're just waiting there forever. So, yeah, to have them on a main thoroughfare is really exciting, and I'd like to see that type of development. Sorry, I'll breathe. Last is the actual truck wash. The truck washes are important. I'd like to see that on this plan because I have 2 16-year-old drivers that are both testing for their license the next 3 weeks. The first thing I taught them is if you can't see out of your vehicle, you can't drive safely, and keeping those trucks clean and maintained is important. So that's all I have, and thank you.
Thank you very much. As a Tesla driver myself, I can feel your pain. Okay, moving on. Does staff like to make any additional comments on this item? Okay, moving on. The hearing is now closed to public testimony and open to the commission for questions and comments. Gentlemen? No? Okay. Then I will go ahead and call for a motion.
I'll make that motion to approve item 1.
Sorry?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, as written?
As written, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I'll second.
Okay, get an on-screen vote, please.
Three ayes, 2 absent, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 1 has now been approved. Moving forward, will there be a set board for the board, or?
No, we're not. This action is actually final, as it was a conditional use permit. So I will read the right to appeal.
Fantastic.
So for projects where the planning commission action is final, those actions are subject to an appeal to the Board of Supervisors by any interested person. No development proposed by the application may be authorized until after the final date of appeal. That appeal can be filed at the Kern County Planning and Natural Resources Department, located at 2700 M Street, Suite 100 in Bakersfield, with a filing fee of $562 on forms available at the department and on our website. That filing must be made within 14 days of and including tonight's hearing.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Murphy. Then if there is no further business, I'll entertain a motion for our favorite part of the evening.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
And we are all in favor, say aye.
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 We stand adjourned.